When you think about financial planning, most people think investments, but real financial planning is about protection, structure, legacy, and leadership for families and for businesses. Today, I'm joined by someone who has spent over 30 years doing that. Welcome to Conversations with Neighbours, where we sit down with the people building the backbone of our community. Today, I'm joined by Jennifer Walker, partner at Carruthers Walker Financial, our recommended financial planning partner in Good Neighbours Aurora, and the vice chair of the Aurora Chamber of Commerce. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
Okay, so Carruthers Walker is often described as a boutique firm. Like, what does that mean?
We like to use the word boutique because we're not the bank. We don't have a service level. We don't have a list of products available with a price list. We're really about what our clients need and fitting ourselves to what they're looking for.
Yeah, like when you go to a big bank for this, it's like they're in a box that they have to play within.
That's right.
And but you're kind of looking at it as a more holistic approach of like, tell me what your needs and wants are, and then being able to build from that.
But even before that, most people can't tell me what their needs and wants are. Most people don't know where to begin. And so, going to the bank, I'm not breaking it down because that is a great starting point. Those boxes are there for a reason, and they work because they start to trigger conversations. They start to trigger what the needs and wants actually mean, and then get deeper than that. And being personal, which is what's most important to us, because if you came to me, Myles, and you said, I want a retirement plan. I'm a dad now. I've got a business. I got to take care of stuff. Do you know what that means? And you may have an idea what that means, but what is retirement to you? What age is that? It's changing constantly. And you need to have great confidence in who you're talking to be able to share openly and honestly.
Yeah, for sure. And then as well, too, like the feeling is we can dive deep into it, not like, I got another one right behind you. They're waiting in the beside the bank machines.
That answer doesn't fit my box. Now what?
Yeah. So like, who do you primarily serve? Is it individuals, families, businesses, all the above?
It's really all the above. I know it sounds really hokey, but for 30 years, we've said we like to work with great people. And those great people come in all shapes and sizes. And we have the benefit of having the three of us, Keith, Diego, and myself. We have a lot of expertise behind all of us so that we can help the business owner. They have a lot of needs. They have a lot of problems that need solving. They have a lot of changing, evolving things that we can be aware of as small business owners and as someone who's worked with lots of small businesses. But having said that, I'm also part of the sandwich generation. There's so many of us that are dealing with our kids and our parents or our neighbors or our this or our that. And it's through lived experience that it really helps me be able to understand and help clients really narrow down what is hurting them or in their obstacles. What are your obstacles? Help identify it.
I haven't the sandwich. That's it. Like makes perfect sense too, right? Just right in the in between.
Are you the lettuce? Are you the tomato? Are you the meat?
And when we talk about kind of financial, it's beyond investments, right? It's kind of a bigger picture of that. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Well, I always like to say to people, it's really great to talk about returns. It's really great to talk about fees. Those are very important features. But as a planner, what I want to start with is your list. I love the picture. I love sharing the picture of you when you go to the grocery store and you don't have a list, you come out with a grocery cart full of stuff. And it may or may not have the stuff on your list, but you've spent more than you needed. You have more than you needed. You may not have what you actually needed. It's just full of wants and thoughts and suggestions that the grocery store put in front of you. So when it comes to your financial future, whether it be the future of tomorrow or the future of 10 years from now or the future of 20 years from now, you have to start with a list. And if you have that list, it provides clarity. And clarity is the best gift you can give to anyone. Yeah,
for sure. And it's so true, like getting clarity on that too. And it's, kind of for most people, it's like they want to avoid it, right? Avoid the conversation too, put their head in the sand too, even though it's like one of the core most important things that's, your whole life functions around.
Well, it's also hard to admit as a grown-up that we don't know.
Yeah.
And frankly, we don't know what we don't know. And if you can admit that with someone, then it opens up the world of possibilities.
Yeah, if you could bottle the feeling of what it feels like after working with you, right? And getting that clarity, it'd be much, much easier.
And embracing that it changes.
Yes.
Like today's clarity starts to get a little muddy.
Yeah.
And that's why it's so important to keep up with that and stay on top of it and admit and accept that things change and move with it.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I'm thinking of myself like 5 years ago, what it was. And then it's like now I got a house and a 14-month-old baby. And it's like things change.
Exactly. Who would have thought about preschools 5 years ago?
Yeah. So you've been in the industry.
Yes.
What have you seen change the most in financial planning and what hasn't changed, right? I'm sure that there's some basic frameworks, foundations, but I'm sure, as everything evolves. So talk to me about that.
Well, it's funny because you're right. The foundations are consistent. Risk tolerance and understanding that has been the same since the beginning, but people embracing it and understanding it and being open to it has really changed. But also awareness. I mean, I call it Dr. Google. We can all Google whatever we think we need to know. Mm-hmm. But we just bring it back to where we started. If you don't know what you don't know the questions to ask. Yeah. So you're asking questions and getting answers that may not be the answers that are meeting what you're looking for. So if you're asking about whether the preschool is close enough to you, that's great knowing it's close enough to you, but does it meet the needs of your child? Does your child have special needs? Does your child have more arts in their world than not? What else do you need to know about that preschool than just where it is and what it costs? Yeah,
getting like all the details, right? It's like, again, it's going to be driving back to getting that clarity, right?
Yeah, for sure.
And it's so true. Like you don't know, like if you don't know what the questions are either, right? No. So you could be going up the wrong tree completely.
Absolutely.
What are some patterns that you see often, like with families or individuals that come to you, some consistent ones? Is it going back to that of like finding clarity, or is there something else too?
Absolutely finding clarity. And I find that it's very interesting to see as I work with people, I have the benefit and the privilege of working with people over many years and to see them open up and to see how much better the relationship can work and how much closer they get to their goals by how much more they can be open with me and open with our office so that we can share and work towards their common goals and define them better. So it's really amazing. And I'm finding that more younger folks are coming a little more open to it than previous generations. Once upon a time, I would talk to a husband and wife, and the wife had no idea what their financials were. And so that is changing, but it's not gone.
Yeah.
There's still a generation of, he takes care of that. And so it's so important that financial literacy and education, and that's one of the things that I really love to do. I like to speak at different events and share knowledge because I think knowledge is power. And the more you know, the better you can do in everything that you're doing.
Yeah. And it's always great to teach people that don't know the power of compounding because it's kind of a mind breaker if you're not like aware of like what actually happens when things compound.
But how about the fact that so many people are afraid to admit they don't know?
Yeah. Yeah. So true.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
On the like employer and group benefit side, why do you think benefits are so critical for employers now?
Well, it's critical for so many different reasons because there's so many different kinds of employers. There's the employers that really treat their employees like family.
Yeah.
There's the employers that really need it in order to protect their employment base, and they need to protect that. So it really goes back to discovering and talking about what your needs are so that we meet them. If your needs are just to make sure you have a benefit plan, because that's what you have to have an employee, there's products, there's ways to do that. There's shelves to do that. If you are treating your employees like family, well, my God, we can do so much more.
Yeah.
My God, I mean, like I said, take advantage of me. I love to educate. So one of the benefits to all of my clients is that I provide free education seminars, and not just on how to process a dental claim, but how about budgeting 101? How about what's the difference between mortgage insurance and term insurance and permanent insurance? Those kind of things are so valuable. And then since COVID, I've started to focus a lot more on mental health and just helping educate on resources that are available. And it's funny, I use the word educate, but I think it's more about reminding people it's not rocket science. But if you stop and breathe and reset, it just changes everything in your world.
Yeah, I think the mental health aspect's so huge because we know kind of the financial stresses are these kind of like hidden ones that really, really build up, right? And it starts to like pile on yourself and you could kind of feel trapped. But if you know, are aware of it, can make a plan in front of you to make actionable steps, right? You could solve that, right?
Absolutely.
Right. It doesn't matter how deep the hole is. Like there is a way out.
Absolutely. And I love, one of my biggest things personally and professionally is I love to celebrate. And in order to celebrate often, you have to set smaller goals and celebrate every single one of them. And it does so much for your mental health, for my mental health. Oh my God, give me something to celebrate, Myles. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Like it's amazing. It does wonders for the whole life.
Yeah. And let's talk about some leadership. So you're vice chair of the Aurora Chamber, right? How has community involvement come to be? Why is it so important to you and, you know, being in that role?
Well, it's funny. It came to me maybe naturally just through people that I met in the community and seeing how I could add value to what's going on. Years ago, it started with adding a feminine voice, adding that gender equality voice to the table, making sure that was heard. It also helps to have a financial background. That is of great value. You know, if you ask any not-for-profit, they don't have financial people working for them. They have people with passion and caring. So if you can add some financial acumen to that, it adds great value. And again, it's for my mental health because giving back is the greatest feeling in the world.
Yeah, it's the best way to fill your cup is to give back. Yeah.
The days that I feel the worst, I pick up the phone and say, how you doing? What can I do for you? If you have a problem that I can solve, because that will fill my cup overflowing.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, we're part of the chamber too. And I think the Aurora Chamber is a great chamber. Why do you think someone that is listening should join the chamber, get involved? What do you think the benefit is for them if they're not already?
Well, there's lots and lots of benefits, including access to a benefit program through the chamber, but also access to networking programs, access to support and guidance for new businesses. But one of the biggest reasons that I love about it is that as a sole proprietor, as a small business, it can be really lonely.
Yeah.
And so this is a great way to get involved with others, to learn from them. I mean, right now the Chamber has a wonderful program for women entrepreneurs where it's a momentum program, where it's a weekly meeting that women can join in, support each other, learn from each other, help each other through their problems. There's amazing tools available if you just come in and say, hi, my name is.
Yeah. I would encourage everyone to kind of get involved, join it. And they got lots of events going on. And there's so many great people that are part of it too.
And if you're nervous, just come find me.
Yeah. You had mentioned that your evolution at Carruthers Walker mirrors your life stages, right? You know, becoming a wife, becoming a mother. Talk to me about kind of those building in correlation.
Well, it's funny because I started in the insurance business when I was 18 years old. And so when I was 18, I needed a job and I found a job at Canada Life and they offered me a salary of $18,000. And I thought I was rich.
Yes.
This is it. I hit the jackpot. But I did hit the jackpot in that it was a great foundation and a way to learn the world of insurance, learning in one of the big threes, giving me that foundation to start. And I met my now partner, Keith Carruthers, when he was also working with Canada Life. So we gradually left Canada Life and became independent and slowly moved from downtown Toronto up to Aurora, where we have now permanently made our home. And it's been wonderful. Like I said, when I started at 18, I was single and young and just enjoying life. And now I'm old and married and have 3 kids, but still really enjoying life. And that's so key.
Yeah. And I think especially in your world, you know, that lived experience, right? Having kids, understanding like how life evolves and risk changes and like how you think about it too, to then bring that to, you know, clients of yours.
Absolutely. I like to say when I met my husband, he worked at Nortel. Are you old enough to know what Nortel is?
Yeah, my uncle did. My uncle worked at Nortel, yeah.
So Nortel was like the Ma Bell. That was like, it can't die. It's too big to die. And so I grew up and learned through that. And that really taught me a lot about risk tolerance. I love to tell people that your head and your stomach talk 2 different languages. And my head tells me science and technology, go high risk, go, go, go. But I can't sleep at night because my stomach tosses and turns. So it's through those lived experiences. And I think it helps for clients to see that I honestly live through that too. I know what it means. I know what it means to have a sleepless night with a kid. I know what it means to not know how we're going to pay for university.
Yeah.
I know what those things mean. And I know how I got through them step by step with small obstacles that I could celebrate when I got through it.
Yeah.
So I love that I can share that. And that doesn't mean my way is going to be your way, but it helps to understand that we're not alone.
Yeah. It's like you, through the experience, right? Your perspective gets much, much wider, where then you can kind of look at it from a 360 view or from a bird's eye view, right? And have a better understanding of what people are feeling, what their challenges are, what the stresses are too, to then, make a plan, achievable steps, and, walk them through it. It's got to be pretty amazing, like someone coming to you for the first time, laying out like, this is what I want, or these are what my problems are, and putting the plan in place. And then, over 5, 7, 10, 15 years, like watching that kind of progress as they do what they set out to do.
Oh, absolutely. How about just watching them start a family? Watch that family grow. Watch their family start to expand. I mean, my business partner, I met him and he had 2 girls. Then he had a third. Now he has 8 grandchildren. 8. It's not fair. I'm still waiting for my first, but I can't wait for that next lived experience. If you know my son, you could give him a call. Mom's waiting. But it's an amazing opportunity to be a part of everybody else's story and celebrate it with them.
Did he just get married, or?
My son, yes, just in September.
No, first comes marriage.
Yep. I'll give you his number.
Yeah. How old is he?
30.
Oh, yeah. So it was like right.
Yes.
I was right at that time, right? 30 is when I got married, and I would say do it now. Like I would have said I would have done it earlier too, because it's it's amazing. Honestly,
you also won the jackpot in a wife and a child.
Yeah, 100%.
Yes.
I think a cool thing that you kind of touch on or speak of is families building generosity into their financial plan. We talk about kind of being out there, filling your cup too, right? Talk to me about that, because I think it's not something that people talk about a lot, but I think it's so important. And so, please.
Absolutely. It was when COVID came that suddenly our lives changed for so many ways. But one of the ways I really noticed is that I grew up going to church on Sundays. I grew up talking about the needy at school. I grew up seeing and building that as part of your day-to-day life. And when COVID hit and we all self-insulated, it stopped becoming of our everyday life. I work with a few charities because they're important to me in my heart. And when I talk to them and I look at what they're lacking, like we talked about before, me being a part of the chamber, bringing that financial acumen doesn't cost me anything. And it fills me and it gives them such great value. And what I want to do is I want to share that philanthropy and share that passion to remind people you don't have to have $1 million to start a foundation. You can start a foundation with your knowledge, with your time, with your interest, and with your passion. And you can teach that to your kids and start reinventing a new way to share that. So one of the ways that I do it in my home, just to share personally, is we have a donor advised fund. And you think, okay, a donor advised fund, it must be hundreds of thousands of dollars, right? No, I put in $100 a month. And at the end of every year, my 3 kids have to come together and decide where that money is going to go for the year. And you may think, oh, it's not that much. It's a huge amount to small charities, grassroots. And more importantly than that, my 3 kids have to stop and think about their surroundings and where they could make an impact with those dollars. And beyond that, it starts them thinking about what other impact they can make. Oh, wait a minute. The food bank also asks for volunteers. Oh, wait a minute. The food pantry has a refrigerator. When we go grocery shopping, why don't we add 2 items a week and throw it in there? It just opens their mind to other ways and other things. And it's so important that as a community, we take care of each other. And we just look out for each other. When I get an opportunity to talk to employers or employees or any group setting, I always stop at the end and say, I just want to remind you to smile. I want to remind you that you don't know what your next door neighbor is going through, and just stop for a second, because it means so much. Just receiving a smile, receiving somebody opening the door for you, it impacts other people's lives in ways you can't imagine.
Yeah. The smallest gestures have like the biggest impact, right?
Absolutely.
And they seem to find the people that need it most when you're not even thinking about it.
Absolutely. And then how about stepping back? Because one of the things that I've done in my philanthropy is that I have achieved my credentials as a master financial advisor in philanthropy. And what that means is that I can help charities and I can help people really be strategic in how they give so that they can make impact. So that $1, $2, $500, whatever amount it is, how can we make true impact with that and help them with their needs? So it's really important to be strategic. And again, right back to that grocery list, write down what's important and then start thinking about ways to fill it.
Yeah, love that. Okay, I want to talk about the 3 H's, because when I came across this, I was very intrigued by it. Holistic, honest, and human. Please dive into those. Tell me about them. I'm very interested.
Well, I think we've been talking about it the whole time.
Yeah.
I'm really honest. You're going to hear all the good, the bad, and the ugly, because we all struggle. And that comes back to being human. I am completely human. Some people might say, look, all those letters after her name, I couldn't work with her. But what it means is that I go out and look for solutions for all the obstacles and problems that I come up to, because we all do. You can't avoid obstacles. You have to embrace them, learn from them, and hopefully it helps you later in life. So that's where that kind of honest and open and human, accepting that we're not perfect and finding ways to work towards that list that we're making together, that we're constantly updating. And holistic is where it comes back to, you started talking about investments. Absolutely, investments are important. Absolutely, insurance is important. But those are just the tools to get to where we want to go.
Yeah.
So we really need to know the whole picture in order to make sure that the tools are the right tools. A hammer's not going to get that screw into the deck.
Yeah.
So yes, you can bash it in, but if we know it's a screw, let's go get a screwdriver.
Yeah.
And if we know it's a Phillips, let's get the Phillips.
I love that. So if someone's listening to this and, they want to work with you, come and be like, here's all my problems. This is what my goals are, right? These are what my dreams are. Like, what's the first step for them? Is it just we're coming, you do like a discovery meeting? Like, what's the process of someone to come work with you?
It sounds really formal. Yes, it's a discovery meeting. And it really is a discovery meeting because it's just about both sides discovering how we work. Because you and I might have common goals. We might understand each other. But if you're not comfortable, then I'm not the right person for you. Vice versa. If you aren't able to be open with me, I really can't help you. So it's best that, maybe you talk to Diego in my office. Maybe you talk to Keith. Maybe you go to the bank. But it's really important that we both discover each other. And what we're going to need to discover that is just being really open and open to the what ifs and open to, maybe what I thought I needed isn't at all what it was. Let's kind of get in there and see what's really going on and how we can help it. And remember, we're always going to go back to, I love to celebrate. So it might be, I'm 54 years old. I want to retire at 65. I don't know how I'm going to get there. Okay, well, let's start today. What's today? What do we want to accomplish today? Would it be saving this much money today? Well, let's do that. Would it be, hey, let's celebrate that you made it here and we're starting a list? Let's celebrate that so that they're achievable, bite-size goals.
Yeah, I love that. Okay, thank you so much for coming on the show today. I really, really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
And, with Good Neighbors, we recommend one financial planning firm in Aurora, not a list. And we do that because trust isn't built overnight. It's built over decades. Jennifer is a pure example of that, and the whole team at Carruthers Walker. And thank you so much for watching.